Matt Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
It gets nuttier every day. When you think it's as nutty as it can possibly get. Nope. It got nuttier. President Trump was impeached again yesterday. Second time.
He's a trivia question now.
Yeah. Who's the only U.S. president to ever be impeached twice?
Mm-hmm. And who's the most petty Speaker of the House in history?
Yeah. There's an easy one. So a week before he's going to leave office, he became the first American president impeached by the House twice. Chamber charged him with high crimes and misdemeanors for inciting an insurrection at the U.S. Capitol 7 days ago. Again, what a crappy insurrection that was. Jeez. The most unprepared insurrectionists of all time. President's behavior in the 13 months since the first impeachment left House Democrats making a more clear-cut case than the first time around. Really?
Right.
Huh.
Okay.
They did no due process. They didn't. I mean, there was nothing. Yeah, it's okay. We're gonna vote on this, and the count was 232 to 197. Every Democrat voted for impeachment, every single one, and 10 Republicans voted for impeachment this time around, and they included Liz Cheney of Wyoming, John Katko from New York, Adam Kinzinger, Illinois, Fred Upton, Michigan, Peter Meyer, New Mexico, Jamie Butler of Washington, Dan Newhouse, also of Washington, Anthony Gonzalez in Ohio, Tom Rice in South Carolina, and Davey Valadao in California. And there's your 10. Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are probably the two I'm somewhat familiar with, at least in that group. But to get 10 Republicans to vote to impeach Donald Trump because of what happened last week, it's amazing.
Yeah, and remember the report is that they think they have 10 to 20 Republican senators. Somewhere in there on board, you need 17 to convict.
And they've got 10 to 20?
Yeah.
And the vote will happen after he's already out of office. So that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to go to a vote to convict the president of the articles of impeachment and remove him from office. After he's already been removed from office.
And don't you think that's more of a Mitch McConnell type, look, we are going to show that we are not the party of Trump. We are breaking from Trump. This is more of a forward-looking vote than anything in the past-looking vote, in my opinion.
Possibly. It's certainly not going to help him going forward. I mean, if they hold a trial after he's left office, I don't see how any right-thinking human being can say, yeah, that was a good move. That was a really good expenditure of time and effort.
Yeah, regardless.
On behalf of the U.S. Senate.
If they convict him or not,
right?
The Republican Party doing this, that's the end of the party, I think.
I think it's also an opportunity to try to smear Trump to the point where he can't come back in 2023 and 24 to run for president again. Yeah. I think that's what it is, because if he's already the only president ever impeached twice, and then if he's the only president to have ever been removed after he was removed from office, they're going to have both of those things to beat him with.
So again, this is a vote for the future after the impeachment, as opposed to what may have happened before.
And it makes you wonder, what is the Republican Party going to do now? Where are they going? Where are they headed? Is there anybody that can carry a conservative torch forward for the party for the future? I don't know who it is. Mike Lee? I don't think Mike Lee ever wants to run for president. Maybe he will, but there are scant few. Marco Rubio maybe has a chance still, But I think almost everybody who ran against Trump in 2015 and 16 is they're pretty damaged from running against Trump.
And they have a nickname, too.
Yeah.
That they can't shake.
I mean, the little Marco thing is always, it's stuck. Lying Ted, stuck, even though Ted didn't lie. I mean, amazing.
Kristi Noem.
Amazing.
Kristi Noem.
Yeah, okay. There's somebody.
Dan
right.
Crenshaw might make some waves 4 years from now.
Might.
Fill that void.
Yeah, Crenshaw's not bad. And then you got Nikki Haley. There are a few, I guess.
Yeah, well,
there's a few.
Crenshaw's going to have some issues. But, I mean, there's some rising stars like Kristi Noem. And I don't know. Nikki Haley, I think, is kind of, she's not happy. The Trump people aren't happy with her right now. So, I don't know.
What did she do?
She said something after the Capitol riot situation. I forget exactly what it was. And I think it was toward Trump, if I recall. There's Slim Pickens.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Mike Lee would be a great Supreme Court justice, but what are the chances there's going to be a Republican making that decision anytime soon? So maybe he will run.
Maybe.
Because he does love this country. He is, and I hate to throw this at the very top, but you almost have to have, he has a great sense of humor when he uses it, when he taps into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that would resonate with the electorate, I think. So Jim Jordan, he could run. He's definitely been in lockstep with Trump during this crazy time.
Yeah, he's been a close ally.
So that might work to his benefit.
And Trump likes him.
Yep.
Trump gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So they've got like a little kinship going on there. So, yeah, Jim Jordan, maybe. Maybe, and he blasted the Democrats yesterday over their effort to cancel Trump. And a bigger waste of time, I don't know that I've ever seen. I can't believe that they can look at themselves in the mirror and say, yeah, 6 days before he was set to be leaving office, we impeached him. By golly, that learned him some manners.
Hours before the dude. It's so petty. You remember, was it John Edwards, the vice presidential running mate for John Kerry? Remember he used to talk about two Americas? Mm-hmm. And he was obviously talking about rich and poor and stuff like that. Oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. If there has ever been two Americas, it's right now.
Yeah.
We are so divided. It's heartbreaking.
Drudge's main headline the last few days has been how many hours it is till Trump leaves. And he doesn't update it every hour, so it's kind of weird. But he's got the headline right now, 149 hours left. 149 hours.
And it's not like a counter? It doesn't just tick?
Nope. It just says, like all day, it'll say 149 hours. And then sometime during the course of the day, he'll change it to, 135 or whatever.
All right, that's annoying.
It is.
Who's counting the hours is Mike Pence.
Oh, yeah.
And that's for sure. He's like, get me out of here. Please don't let them ask me anything else. No more questions.
There's another guy who's a possibility for the future, but I think he's pissed off a lot of people, too. He's obviously he hasn't made Donald Trump a big fan of his in the last few days because Trump wanted him to do certain things, which he wouldn't do. He wanted Pence to throw the electors back to the state and the state legislators and go through the whole process again. I mean, there's no way he was going to do that. Did you really think he would do that? There's no way Mike Pence was ever going to do that. So, he's not happy with him.
So does a Trump, and maybe this depends on how the Senate votes and the Republican Party puts their final stamp of judgment on Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Does an endorsement help or hurt more for a 2024 Republican candidate, assuming Trump isn't running?
Not sure. An endorsement by Trump of them?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I'm talking big picture in November, not with the base and all that stuff necessarily. Because even if he does, let's just say he endorses a Jim Jordan, right? That might get him through the primary, and that might resonate with the Republican base. But when it comes to November, and you're going to have Kamala Harris running, and you're going to say, "Oh, look, it's a Trump ally. Do you want to go back to the chaos?" And there'll be video from the Capitol and stuff. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We are so
Won't that
divided.
be fun? Won't that be nice? That'll be great. And, I think the president's a little radioactive right now, so I'm not sure how much an endorsement would help at this point. Also, from last week and the Capitol Hill riots, they're looking into all kinds of people, including Chuck Norris being charged.
Man.
There was a guy there who I guess looks somewhat like Chuck Norris.
Look at this. Dude is posing for pictures. And people are like, oh, look, it's Chuck Norris. Let's get our picture taken. It's Walker Texas Ranger. Come home. Y'all smile. And it's...
that's clearly not Chuck Norris.
Right. It's not even close. Come on. There's the Chuck Norris.
But it was to the point where Chuck Norris had to deny that he was there. Yeah, I wasn't really there.
Yeah, the publicist had to say.
Yeah, the rep for him said, this is not Chuck Norris and is a wannabe lookalike, although Chuck is much more handsome. Chuck remains on his ranch in Texas, where he has been with his family. So he was not at the Capitol Hill riots, which I'm pretty glad of.
Yeah.
That's kind of a relief. Also, somebody on Twitter, Cousin Bromas, tweeted out, wait, so white supremacists stormed the Capitol to overthrow the white supremacist government, but were stopped by the white supremacist police force and are now being tracked down by the white supremacist FBI? I'm very confused. That's about right, though. Yes. It's a battle among all of the white supremacists in this country and in Washington, D.C. last week. So, yeah, it gets a little confusing. Meanwhile, President Trump yesterday appealed for peace and unity. Here's what he had to say last night.
Fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the troubling events of the past week. As I have said, the incursion of the U.S. Capitol struck at the very heart of our republic. It angered and appalled millions of Americans across the political spectrum. I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Making America great again has always been about defending the rule of law, supporting the men and women of law enforcement, and upholding our nation's most sacred traditions and values. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. No true supporter of mine could ever disrespect law enforcement or our great American flag. No true supporter of mine could ever threaten or harass their fellow Americans. If you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement, you are attacking it, and you are attacking our country.
All right, so that was his speech last night.
Yeah, right after his impeachment, his second go around. That's got to be a badge of honor for him, though, really. He's probably like, yeah.
Good. I'm the first one to ever have that happen.
I made him so mad they had to impeach him
And that's
twice.
exactly what they hate him so much.
Yep.
That they were trying to find a way to humiliate him out the door.
Yeah, and just remember, Nancy Pelosi so desperately wants you to have a $2,000 check that instead of rushing that legislation through as soon as the new Congress began, she did the petty thing and went after the president for a second time.
Yeah, exactly. And she fought the $2,000 for what, 8 months?
Yes.
She fought it.
And now
tooth
it's
and
hers.
nail.
Now that's why the Democrats control the Senate, because it's our baby.
Unbelievable.
She outmaneuvered McConnell so badly around Christmas.
Seriously unbelievable. All right, let me take 60 seconds to tell you about Built Bar. These are healthy, but they're also incredibly tasty. They're so delicious. They're as healthy as, in fact, healthier than your favorite protein bar, but better tasting than your favorite candy bar. And you're going to love these flavors. My favorite is the caramel brownie flavor, but there's something to please everybody. Cookies and cream, coconut almond, raspberry, the peanut butter, the mint chocolate. Only 110 to 160 calories in these bars, 3 to 5 net carbs. This is going to be the healthiest thing you probably do today. You can be proud of yourself, and you can continue with your New Year's resolution of eating healthier and just getting into better shape. This will definitely help you do that, because once you have that sweet tooth satisfied with the Built Bar, you're going to be able to stick with everything else. Built Bar is the answer. Go to BuiltBar.com. Use the promo code PAT20 to get 20% off your next order. Promo code PAT20 to get 20% off at BuiltBar.com.
Pat Gray.
This is a fun image, too, of Nancy Pelosi. Apparently, she's got a nice impeachment suit that she wears every time she impeaches the president.
Rob noticed it. Look
This
at
is
this.
awesome. Look at that. It's the exact same outfit except for the mask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the brooch. So she exchanged the brooch for the mask. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
stupid-
Okay. Yep.
Ugh,
Yep.
she's gross.
That's amazing. The same necklace. She really enjoys that look, I guess.
Her impeachment
for when she's impeaching a president.
outfit. Yeah.
Be the last time she has to wear it for the next 4 years at least. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not. You think they're going to impeach Joe Biden or Kamala Harris? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know. We'll see.
Also, Congressman Brian Mast getting attacked by Jake Tapper. I'm done with Jake Tapper.
Oh,
I
he
used to be a fan
sucks.
of Jake Tapper.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him, but he is awful.
Fully absorbed by the CNN machine. It took a few years. But
Yeah, but yes, he has been. Here's what he was saying about war hero Brian Mast.
What you're saying right now is relevant because Congressman Brian Mast, a Republican from Florida, who lost his legs, by the way, fighting for democracy abroad, although I don't know about his commitment to it here in the United States.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Wow. First of all, he's not committed to democracy. He's committed to a republic. That's thing one, Jake. But he also tweeted out Congressman Brian Mast, who lost his legs, by the way, fighting. Oh, same thing that he just said. It's just the quote that he just said. And why did he put the quote in the... He didn't do it?
No, he did not.
Okay. Was it Mast? Because I know Mast responded to this.
I think whoever tweeted out the link just gave us the quote there.
Mast came back at him, and then Tapper came back again at him, doubling down on it all. I mean, it's despicable. These people are just, they hate Trump so much that...
it's what animates them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really despicable to watch. I've been really surprised to watch the disintegration of Jake Tapper's integrity over the last at least a year, maybe more than that. But we used to defend the guy all the time and say, no, he's fair. He does this to both sides. Yeah, no, no, not so much anymore. And then speaking of these lunatics on CNN, check out this particular lunatic who says Trump is the spiritual leader for domestic terror.
Exactly. So we're not there yet. And I think what we have to remember is Trump is the spiritual, but I will also say operational leader of this domestic terrorism effort. He tells them where to go. He tells them what to do. He tells them why they're angry. And so
tells them
we
why
need to
they're
start at the
angry.
top, like any counterterrorism effort, which is total isolation of the president of the United States. Impeachment, yes. 25th Amendment, yes. Deplatforming, yes. All of the above. No money, no access to campaign funds. A complete isolation, because as the leader of a terrorist organization is viewed as a loser, as a not winner, it is harder for him to recruit. Look, he's going to have his radical elements. We will arrest them. We will isolate them. But what we have to make sure is that Donald Trump does not have a second act. I know I sound incredibly harsh right now calling the president
Pause it for a second.
this, but
No,
we are-
you don't sound incredibly harsh. You sound incredibly crazy. You sound bat crap crazy is what you sound like. That is unbelievable. To appear on national television like that and accuse the president of being the leader of a terrorist group. If this was any right-wing person during the Barack Obama administration, all hell would have broken loose. And that person wouldn't have a job. And that person wouldn't be respected or taken seriously ever again. Look at the just absolute insanity being marshaled right now against Donald Trump and everybody on the right. I mean, she feels free to insult every person who voted for Trump, 75 million Americans, by saying that they don't know what to think or do or where to go.
Oh, she's not the only one going
without Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like we're all automatons, like we're all morons. What else are you looking for?
Right here.
All right.
Spike Lee has some comments for all of Trump's voters as well.
Is this a video or just...
No, it's just some nice quotes he gave to, I think, Deadline magazine.
Yeah, so he compares the 70 million, by the way, it's almost 75 million, who he said voted for President Trump, compares them to Nazis and slave owners. Okay, yeah, again, bat crap crazy.
Yeah.
No matter how bad we talk about Agent Orange, Donald Trump.
That's his name for Trump.
Agent Orange.
Wow, that's
clever. It's even a more condemning comment on Americans as a country that 70 million people voted for this guy. Jeez. That's a comment on America that's okay with the president saying all Mexicans are... He didn't
I know.
say that.
I know.
Saying that all Mexicans are rapists, murderers, and drug dealers. Just they cannot let go of that. That's 70 million people who believe it's okay if you separate mothers from their newly born sons and daughters, many still breastfeeding. Seriously?
It's good stuff, right?
Oh, my gosh. I'd like to know the percentage of that, of how many breastfeeding babies were separated from their parents. That's one of the highest immoral acts, separating mother from infant child. Who does that? Nazis? Slave owners. That's effing shameful. It's effing disgrace, and it's a terrible mark on American democracy.
Oh, there we go. Got another early morning democracy plug.
So freaking stupid and asinine and extreme. And all their extreme rhetoric is perfectly fine, by the way. They can bring out the Nazi thing all they want. Oh, and another good example of that, the Oliver Darcy thing.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Well, we have a video clip of that if you'd like to see him.
What happened to Oliver Darcy?
Yeah, he's gone. He was on CNN now, of course, and
he's been CNNized.
Oh, wow.
CNNified.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Here's what he had to. What he. First of all, the thing was, Glenn had said something, right? And he's defending somebody else going after Glenn. I forget how this works.
This I'm not sure. This is from a couple days ago. This was before Glenn.
The story this week was bringing our informational crisis to the forefront, right? It's a national emergency. You have corporations and people that are profiting off of lies and conspiracy theories, whether that's big tech, whether that's Fox News, whether that's the TV providers that beam OAN and Newsmax into homes, or Rush Limbaugh. There are a lot of people profiting off of lies and conspiracy theories.
What should we do? What should we do?
I don't really see how things get better, how we move on as a country until this informational environment is cleaned up.
Oliver, Fox News, the Murdochs, they are still enabling this stuff because they're obsessing over big tech bias, that's what they call it, and trying to ignore the riot.
Can't take it.
Right. Where are they? They need to be held accountable as well. We're talking a lot about people like Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, Rupert Murdoch, Lachlan Murdoch. They need to be held accountable for the lies that they have peddled to this country, not only in the past 2 months about the election either, but in the past several years that have really brought this to the forefront.
So we got to clean up conservative voices.
Right. Well, clean them up.
And they're going to have to be held accountable for what they've done the last couple months.
Should we round up right-wing media people and put them in jail?
What it feels
is
like.
That what you're suggesting, Oliver?
Something.
What in the hell happened to Oliver Darcy, who used to work here? Wow, the CNNification of Oliver Darcy is apparently quite complete. Jeez. Yeah, so after about 1 billion Trump Nazi and Trump supporter Nazi comparisons, not to mention the Crystal Nacht comparison to the Capitol incident last week. Now the left again is all of a sudden outraged if Glenn dares compare anybody to Nazis or what's going on in Germany. And obviously, there are some stark comparisons right now with the fascism that is happening in the mainstream media and in this country right now. It is too obvious not to use a Nazi comparison. So anyway, Glenn did. But he's on the right, so you can't, right? We're held to a different standard than the left is. The left can throw out that crap all day, every day. And so Glenn was on Tucker Carlson's show the other night, and he railed against the crackdowns on social media. And he said, he invoked the Japanese internment during World War II. And by the way, they've actually used the freaking terms internment and re-education camps, applying them to rounding up people on the right and putting them there. But Glenn said we made one of the biggest mistakes of the 20th century by taking our own citizens. And listen to this: confiscating their wealth, making sure they couldn't work, shutting them down, and then putting them in camps. Tucker, this is the road we're on again. Is there any doubt that's true? There's absolutely no doubt that's true. He went on to actually make this historical analogy. This is like the Germans with the Jews behind the wall. They would put them in the ghetto. This is the digital ghetto. You can talk all you want, Jews. Do whatever you want behind the wall. That's not meaningful. And that's where we are. That's where millions of Americans will be. Glenn further said, it's not to compare it to the Germans. It's not to do anything but warn. If you don't stand up for free speech, you'll be the one that loses it as well. Right. So then Jake Tapper hit back. Our friend Jake Tapper, who is CNN-ified. This is nothing like what the Nazis did to the Jews. And if you think that, you're an absolute moron.
Ooh.
And so then Oliver Darcy piped up. On Fox just now, Glenn Beck drew similarity between big tech banning Trump and others who have broken platform rules and what the Germans did in World War II. Mm-hmm. Right? So?
Yeah.
And what's your point? And why aren't you calling out everybody on the left who's doing it? Because you're a hypocrite, Oliver Darcy. That's why. You're a stinking hypocrite. Just like the rest of the CNN crew.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin here other than Edwin Black is the one who Glenn's had on his show a lot lately, who came up with that phrase, digital ghetto, years ago. And Glenn was just basically quoting him. As for Oliver Darcy, I found this article from 2018 back when he was hired by CNN, and they had unearthed these anti-CNN tweets that he had shared with the world. So it's like, come on, bro.
Oh, man. The mind of the weak, so easily manipulated, so easily changed and formed, and can easily conform to its new surroundings. That's great. Congratulations, Oliver.
Chameleons in the media.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Media chameleons.
Despicable.
I mean, there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
We got, what's her name? The CNN show that we always have on here. She's from Fox News.
Yeah,
Allison
what's her
Camerata.
face? Thank you.
Oh, she is insufferable.
I've blocked her name from my mind now. I can never remember it. But yeah, she's a really good example of what we're talking about. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. And by the way, they've got like hundreds of people now they're trying to charge with sedition from this Capitol Hill insurrection that was so poorly pulled off. It's an insurrection that looked a lot like a protest that, maybe got a little crazy.
I'll tell you what it felt like. It felt like some people of one particular persuasion on the left were prepared, whereas the people that are on the right just kind of walked on in when the doors were.
And unfortunately got swept up in some of it. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up in a minute. Some tweets here from the Steve 42. I hope they put all the Pat heads in the same internment camp. Otherwise, I'd really miss all y'all. And thank you, Steve, for using the plural of y'all. Because y'all, as we all know, is singular. All y'all is plural. Beautiful stable genius from about Oliver Darcy's anti-CNN tweets. We're all the way back. I mean, how old were you in 2018? I don't even.
Yeah.
Were we born?
That's math, and you're asking the wrong guy.
How can you expect Darcy to remember clear back 2 years? Come on, Pat. Yeah, I know. That's like ancient history.
Yeah, that's. Oof.
B. de Bodine tweets, perhaps the Dems repeatedly misquoting Trump about Hispanics in the military is just them showing their true feelings toward these groups and just deflecting it back towards Trump.
Seriously, they are always guilty of that.
All the time.
Of always. Whatever they say the other side is guilty of, that's actually what they're guilty of.
Yes.
And by the way, all these bills that they're going to be running through, just take a close look at what they're titled, because the opposite will be true.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in for some fun times during certainly the next 2 years. If we can survive the next 2 years, maybe we get to the election where we can right the ship somewhat, take the House back, take the Senate back. But then you know what the cry is going to be? The election fraud. And nobody's going to believe it. Nobody's going to believe it's possible. But if we get into that mindset, we'll never win another election. And so we'd best not let that happen. And we better go for the election reforms that need to take place. Like fixing some of this mail-in bull crap that makes it so easy on the mail-in ballots. Makes it so easy to commit fraud.
Yeah, I love that tweet from a fathead that came in yesterday about the impeachment vote.
From Colonel Beck. They should have tallied the House impeachment vote via mail-in ballots since it's so secure and safe. That's really good. That is really good. Really good.
And you joked that 2018, you say, how old were you way back then? I don't know, but I know Donald Trump had been impeached 0 times way back then. Now he's got crazy. 2 under his belt.
Yeah, 2 in 13 months, right? It was a year and a month.
Yeah.
A year and a month ago that he was impeached.
Remember, the virus was taking root while they were busy being distracted.
That's right.
And distracting him with that nonsense earlier in 2020, early 2020. Yeah. And by the way, to my point about the bills are always named the opposite of what they do. Mm-hmm. I was having a brain fart at the time. Obamacare's actual official name. Remember? The Affordable
Care Act.
I mean, that's just one example of so many. We could name these bills for them. It'd be a fun parlor game.
Seriously, how affordable is healthcare insurance now with the Affordable Care Act? Remember the promises. God, I hate to go back and relitigate all this because it's water under the bridge. And they've even admitted that Obamacare sucks now because they're trying to replace it. But the $2,500 per family per year everybody was going to save. What have you done with those savings? What I've done is save it up over the years. And now, holy cow.
Yeah.
Now, it's worth $0 and 0 cents.
There's a negative in front of it, too.
Yeah, there sure is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good time. How about that doctor? Did you get to keep them, too?
No.
Doctors?
No, there were 7 million Americans who weren't allowed to keep their doctor in their plan. That mostly didn't happen, I think, to those employees who have insurance through their employers. I think it was the private health insurance people that mostly loved their plan and were completely happy with it. And the Obama administration didn't love your plan. They weren't happy with it, so you couldn't keep your doctor and you couldn't keep your plan. Even Time Magazine deemed that the lie of the year back in the day. We forget that sometimes.
How much of medical equipment and some of the stuff you need around your surgeries and recovery, stuff like that, those costs probably tanked.
Oh,
right? They just went through the floor. Yeah. All of the peripheral stuff that you need to heal.
Sure. I'm sure we could hear stories from people that would tell us about their incredible medical savings. Oh, man. It's almost free to get medical care now in the age of Obamacare. Let's go to Lori D. in New Mexico. Hey, Lori, you're on the Blaze.
Oh, my gosh, that took almost no time to call in and get on the air. I'm lying because, dude, open your phone lines a little bit earlier.
All right. Yes.
Hi, Keith.
What's up? How are you?
I am so ticked off with Dan Crenshaw right now.
Oh, really?
Why is he siding with Liz Cheney? Why?
Did he? He didn't vote for impeachment. What part of Lynn Cheney is he siding with?
Okay, hold on. I'm looking up on Twitter right now.
Oh, yeah, he called her a leader or something like that.
A future leader of the Republican Party going forward.
I just saw that.
Oh,
what?
My gosh.
What?
I just saw that.
He totally did
man.
that.
Wow.
I'm ready. And we were going to actually retire as old people in Dan Crenshaw's district because we thought he had a spine. But, I mean, use your good eye, Dan, and see what the heck he's doing. Oh, my God.
Yeah, some of his constituents in his district are not happy with him either, based on some of the votes that he's cast since he's been in Congress.
I can't even, like, where do we go?
I don't know.
I need to move to Costa Rica, or Stu bought Bitcoin, and now he bought Belize. So I'm thinking I buy Bitcoin and Belize. I'm just going to run to America at this point. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, y'all, I don't understand this anymore. I really, really don't. The world has gone sideways. Trump has been impeached twice for doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I seriously don't get it.
Appreciate the call. Thanks, Lori. I know we're all, I think, equally baffled. And it's not just Dan Crenshaw. It's a lot of different things. I will say, speaking of the impeachment, though, I do kind of like this, even though it seems like a petty, well, if you're going to do this to us, we're going to do it right back to you kind of thing. But what's her face? The new congressman that is just coming into office. She was the, I guess, the pro-QAnon candidate at one point. What's her name? In fact, didn't I send that in?
Yeah.
Do we have that?
Yeah.
Do we have what she had to say? Do we have that video
Marjorie
already?
Taylor Greene, is that what you're
Yes,
talking about?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I am against the impeachment effort by the Democrats. President Trump has held over 600 rallies in the last 4 years. None of them included assaulting police, destroying businesses, or burning down cities.
Thank you.
Democrats have spent all this time endorsing and enabling violent riots that left billions in property damage and 47 dead across the United States.
Jeez.
Democrats' impeachment of President Trump today has now set the standard that they should be removed for their support of violence against the American people.
That's great.
Well done, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia. Just been on the job for about a week or so, and there she was defending the president. She's back with us tonight. Welcome back. You were on last night. Big hit, by the way. Welcome, Congresswoman. How do you feel about today, first of all?
Well, I'm absolutely disgusted with what happened today. What the Democrats are putting the American people through is atrocious. It's a waste of our taxpayer dollars. And they're pouring salt in the wounds of 75 million Americans who voted for President Trump. This is not why I wanted to come to Washington. I wanted to actually work on real problems. But it's apparent that we definitely have real problems now, Greg. And this is why I wanted to come on your show tonight. I'm tired of Republicans that lay down and allow this country to be ravaged, allow Democrats to abuse their power and their positions. And I believe it's time for Republicans to stand up for the American people and do a good job in Congress.
Very well. And yes, 10 or so Republicans did this as well. We'll have more on that in a bit. Congresswoman, I understand, though, you have something pressing, something important, and something new you'd like to share with everybody.
Yes, I would like to announce on behalf of the American people, we have to make sure that our leaders are held accountable. Yeah. We cannot have a president of the United States that is willing to abuse the power of the office of the presidency and be easily bought off by foreign governments, foreign Chinese energy companies, Ukrainian energy companies. So on January 21st, I will be filing articles of impeachment on Joe Biden.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
So she's going to file articles of impeachment for abuse of power. Huh? Does that sound familiar? Yeah, it seems like 13 months ago they were doing the same thing to Donald Trump. So day one.
Yeah.
I guess this is actually, this is the first full day of his presidency.
Right.
She will be introducing articles of impeachment on Joe Biden.
Democrats probably saw that interview clip and they were like, dang it, why didn't we do that?
Right.
January 21st, 2017.
Well, they started talking about it.
Sure they did.
About 10 minutes after he was inaugurated. They didn't do it yet, but now they've done it twice. So a little turnabout is fair play. Let me take a minute and tell you about ScoreMaster. ScoreMaster has credit scientists that discovered an algorithm that super boosts credit scores, not by just a few points, not by, I raised my score 11 points. Ooh. No, 97 points fast on average. Imagine 97 points on top of your credit score. If you're refinancing your home or buying a car, applying for credit, say you just have okay credit, and if you go to ScoreMaster first and boost your score, the average 61 points in 20 days or less, then you could save $9,000 on your car loan. If you raised your credit score just the average number of 61 points in 20 days or less before applying for a home loan, that could mean $100,000 over the life of the loan to you in your pocket. You might want to keep the $100,000 in the bank. It's hard to carry that around in your pocket. ScoreMaster puts you in control of your finances. You can enroll in just minutes and see how many plus points. They'll show you what you can add to your credit score at scoremaster.com/Pat. Scoremaster.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right. Some people are saying that Facebook has some culpability in the whole Capitol Hill riot thing because a lot of people apparently organized and agreed to meet up in Washington, D.C. on Facebook and their Facebook groups. Well, Facebook, of course, can't accept any responsibility whatsoever. So they're deflecting all of that blame onto Parler. Facebook Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg notes that the organization and conversations about violent plans to attack the Capitol took place on smaller, right-leaning, free speech-oriented services like Parler and Gab. Oh, okay. Facebook with, 2.5 billion members? That had nothing to do with it. I'm sure nobody was on Facebook talking about this. She noted last week the company took down content affiliated with the conspiracy theory QAnon, the extremist group Proud Boys, and hashtags and other content affiliated with Stop the Steal, the rallying cry of Trump and his movement. She said there was likely to be some content on Facebook because the company enforcement was never perfect. And again, they're not responsible for the things that appear on their platform because they have that wonderful Section 230 agreement with the government, where you can't come after them for content that's on their site. I mean, that's not their responsibility. Am I right? As long as we remain unbiased, we don't have to worry about that.
So why did they just take Ron Paul down? Just removed him without warning.
I'm sure because he's just a wacky extremist. You know? Calling for people to
right. That's a Ron Paul.
Lower taxes.
Ron Paul.
Don't spend a whole bunch of money that we don't have.
Ron Paul, let's go turn cars over until they end the Fed. I'm sure that's what he was doing.
I'm sure, yeah.
I mean, Ron Paul. That dude, he's like, lower my taxes or I'm going to burn this street of cars.
Yeah, no.
What a world,
I actually don't. I've never heard him say anything like that.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
You haven't heard, let's go break into buildings because the Treasury Department sucks. No.
Hey, this last vote didn't go the way we wanted to, so let's go steal everything in a Nike store. No, I've never heard that. I've never heard that from him. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, they got rid of him without warning.
Yeah, and they gave him no explanation, apparently.
Yeah, and he said, all I do is I publish my newsletter that I've been publishing since the 70s. I mean, those newsletters.
Crazy
Right?
newsletters,
This is a world gone mad, dude.
It is. Seriously is. And it's getting worse every day is the sad truth of it. And what do you do?
2 Americas. Not a healthy way to survive.
I mean, if that wasn't true in, what was that, 2004?
2004, when
Yeah.
John Edwards.
If that wasn't true then, it certainly is now. It's absolutely true
And
now.
remember, his was, class warfare.
Yeah.
But
right.
that phrase, just that phrase applied to today's climate, absolutely true.
There are 2 Americas. There's America on the right, there's America on the left. And we're almost at literal war with one another.
I mean, we got a poll. It says, 71% of Trump supporters say that it's very likely. Is that right?
Yep. It's a record high. 71% of President Trump supporters believe the country is headed toward actual civil war.
Goodness.
Now, get this. Well, yeah, that's because, Trump supporters are extremists. They're crazy. Biden's group doesn't believe that. Yeah. Well, 40% of them do.
Oh, boy.
40%.
So what did we calculate if that sample size?
55% of the country.
Yeah, if that's half Republican, half Democrat there.
That's crazy. I mean, that's amazing. And, it does feel that way, doesn't it?
Sure does.
It certainly does feel that way. Amazing. I hope and pray.
I was going to say, it might be time to pray.
Doesn't happen. Yeah. It's absolutely time to pray. Yeah, no doubt about that. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. And great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. Got some tweets here. For now. Small math bass Kurt tweets, not to slight you awesome ladies, but it saddens me to see a lady have to stand tall while a Crenshaw cowers beneath the mob, bearing the mob, BEHRING, the mob. If it wasn't for where he's from, he'd have clearly voted to impeach. Boy, yeah, you can't do that in Texas. Not in Texas, my friend. You ain't voting impeachment here. Although, was there a Texas guy in there? I don't know. It seems like there might have been one person from... No? Okay. Corrupted Republic tweets, if I remember correctly, your buddy Dan Crenshaw is endorsed by the World Economic Forum. So I'd watch that dude real close. Huh. Sly and dog-faced pony soldier separating mother from baby. Spike Lee was mad about Trump's immigration policy, of course. Wait, isn't that called abortion? Separating mother from baby. Yeah. On a permanent basis. In that particular case.
There's no self-awareness.
Nope.
With that party.
By the way, because Biden has been elected and is about to take control of our immigration policy, illegal immigrant caravans are already on the way back to the United States once again, and Joe Biden is the one who invited them.
All right.
Yep, didn't take long. Migrant caravans are forming in Honduras again, where residents were hit with a pair of devastating hurricanes last month, adding to the economic hardship caused by COVID-19. Faced with ruin, many Hondurans have decided to defy local travel bans and head north. Right, during a pandemic, won't that be great? When thousands and thousands of people, the health of which we don't know anything.
Are they going to be wearing masks, though?
Well, let's see. Looks like in the photo here. Yeah, the woman who's holding her baby does have a mask, but it's pulled down to her chin. So it's not doing a lot. One of the other guys has a mask also pulled all the way down.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks like one person is wearing their mask properly, and that's the medical person who's... okay, and what about that guy in between the two standing there? Maybe he has a
that
mask.
guy sitting there checking his smartphone as he's running away from poverty?
Yeah. Yes. That's the one.
Yeah, no social distancing, though, I see.
None at all.
Look at that. They're all... Okay.
So there you go. That'll be fun when they all get here. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them.
Wait.
Yeah, because, I'm sure none of them have any sort of disease. And all of them are completely upstanding citizens.
Yeah, they were bringing diseases before transporting diseases was fun and was, the trend.
Yeah. Yeah, so is it any surprise that this would be happening again, that they'd be massing once again to head north? Of course not, because they know the policies of the Democrats. They know the Democrats have indeed invited them here. I mean, they're already working right now, the Biden team, on changing Trump's immigration policy. And so what are you going to change it to? Well, they're going to change it just allowing people to stream through that border. They don't care. They don't care about this country. What they care about is themselves. And that's why, 5 minutes after last Wednesday's breach of the Capitol building, they had already started on a 7-foot fence being erected around the Capitol building.
And let's go back to these immigrants heading northward. I mean, let's just say hypothetically, you could change election results. Hypothetically, of course. Mm-hmm. Then you wouldn't need new voters. So maybe they will lock down the border. Nah, we got it. We don't need you now. So fun times, right?
Yep, fun times.
Okay.
About 20,000 troops will be guarding Washington, D.C. and the inauguration next week, completely encompassing the Capitol building and the surrounding area.
How many did you say?
20,000.
Wow.
20,000 troops.
This is our peaceful transfer of power. Boys and girls,
sickening. It's seriously, it's sickening to think that this is necessary in the United States of America. But they're saying that there's rumors of of problems
all over,
of trouble.
Every state capital is on high alert.
And by the way, Chucky Schumer wants to ban President Trump from ever running for office again. They're so afraid of this guy, because they know they're going to screw things up and people are going to be pissed at him by 2024. They are. It's almost inevitable. And if Trump arises a second time, that means real trouble for him. I think President Trump could win the election. As radioactive as they say, and as toxic as he supposedly is right now, in 2024, he defeats whoever's running for office from the Democrat Party.
Does he?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Are we still using same equipment from this past election?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but I mean, I can't play that game that all elections are now tainted.
Yep.
Otherwise, we won't win.
People will never show up.
We won't. Yeah. We won't show up, and we won't win. So they must eliminate him and the possibility of him running against them, because they know how popular he is. They know what a base he has, and they know that there's a really good chance if he comes back, they lose. And so that's part of the reason they're doing this impeachment right now, is so that they've got the 2 impeachment thing against him, which nobody else has ever had. And if he's convicted by the Senate after he leaves, then they can also hold another vote on whether or not he can ever run for office again. Because just the removal from office doesn't negate the possibility that he could run again. So then they'd hold a separate vote. Well, then he should never be able to hold office again because he's been removed from this one. And that is the vote that would preclude him from running in 2024.
Is that the 14th Amendment stuff they keep talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun.
Wouldn't it be fun? Yeah, there's a lot of fun things going on. And that's just one of them. But think of Chuck Schumer as Senate Majority Leader again. Oh, my. That just... what a nightmare. I mean, I'm not a huge Mitch McConnell fan, but given the 2 possibilities, whew. Mark in Pennsylvania. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Hey, guys. Hey, real quick on the immigration thing, is he going to give them free vaccinations before or after they come into the country? Just wondering. I mean, that's part of his, he wants to give them health care, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
The reason I called The reason I called is, aren't many of the senators and congressmen, aren't they lawyers? And
Probably most of them.
Were they ambulance chasers or divorce lawyers? Because apparently they're not constitutional scholars. I mean, the Supreme Court has ruled twice on what causes or the standard for a riot. I mean, even in 1972, that case, the gentleman said that if this happens again, we're going to go to the streets again. And the Supreme Court said, no, they need definite statements saying, show up here and there, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Trump didn't say that. I mean, so like I said, as far as lawyers go, they must be the bottom of the barrel ones.
Yes.
That's why they need that government paycheck for the rest of their life. So,
Thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate it. Yep, that's why they're in office, because they got nowhere else to go. It's like that scene from An Officer and a Gentleman. I got nowhere else to go. Are you familiar with that movie, Keith?
I know it was on in my house when I was a kid.
Was it?
But
when you were a kid.
I didn't sit down and watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Officer and Gentleman. That's old, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I guess it is.
I remember my
1982, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you were probably
6.
6.
6.
In 1982.
Yeah. So there's that. I think that was one of the first. You know what? It's wow. This is actually pretty cool. That's one of the first movies I think that my family rented for a VCR or something.
Officer and a Gentleman?
Yeah.
Really?
Because I specifically remember it being on at my house, and it was during the day, so I doubt it was on TV. You know, so.
So it must have been on VCR.
Yeah.
That would have been about the time, I think, that the VCR thing started to kick in, and most people had a player and would rent the cassettes. Yeah. 888-900-3393. 6 years old. Oh, man.
It's a good time.
I wasn't even born yet.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, so, okay. So who was president when you were born? Like, for example?
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the second time, his
second term? That was a Gerald Ford baby. So,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Gerald Ford left office
January
in
77.
77, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you had born 76?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I guess a couple days ago, Glenn and Stu were trying to figure out how old I was.
How old you are?
Show. Yeah. Because they were talking about how I had COVID and knocked me out and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
They're like, he's like 30 years old. That's what Glenn said.
30?
Yeah. I like it. Let's keep playing this game. And then I think Stu or somebody said 35, And I think Martin and Sarah had to correct them. So I'm only 42 now, which is
42.
Not even accurate. But
So
I'll
you're
take
actually 44.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. When do you turn 45?
This year?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
But so you missed out on the Reagan 80s. Childhood was great during the 80s, man.
Yeah. Was it?
I hate that for you, being born during Clinton.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're this young,
right,
you've missed out on a lot of history.
And look at you.
What I mean?
Look what you have now. You have a show with your name on it.
Right.
You're like 21 years old. Rising star on Glenn Beck's network, The Blaze.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. The places I've been to at 21, it's pretty amazing.
Wow, you got started early, man.
And the children that I have.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to get into your personal life.
Yeah. I mean, it's miraculous, really, is what it is. It's miraculous.
Just scanning your memory of your life, The world might have been crazy, but it made sense.
Yes.
Now it's crazy and makes zero sense whatsoever. Nothing is as it seems. And oh my gosh, look at the live shot in Washington, D.C. right now. Just every street just lined with troops. Oh my goodness. This is fun.
Yep. 20,000 troops expected for the inauguration, and they're already setting everything up. Perimeters and blockades and barricades and all of that kind of stuff.
Which speaks to our point.
So sad.
Boy, things might have been bad, but they were never
like
insane.
This. Right. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. It's sickening.
Yeah.
But here we are. And Again, I got to say, there's one way to fix this, and that's if we turn back to God. You know, we can talk about all the political solutions we want to. We can talk about fixing the voting machines. We can talk about fixing the way the mail-in ballots are counted and received. And we can talk about what happens in Washington, D.C. on any given issue. But the one thing that's going to save us is turning back to God. That's it. I think that's where we are.
And cute animal videos.
And no.
What? What do you mean?
No. And not cute animal videos. Those will sink us faster than anything else.
Oh.
Maybe even faster than communism.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just so you know.
Okay.
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Let me tell you, in response to the events of the last few days, you know, and everything we've been talking about, Blaze Media is offering a $30 discount on annual subscriptions for just a limited time. Now more than ever, it's important for our content to be seen and your voices to be heard and for the audience to show their support. blazetv.com/Pat is where you should go. blazetv.com/Pat. You'll get $30 off. This is tied for our best offer of all time. $30 off right now at blazetv.com/Pat. Traffic and weather together every 4 minutes on the twos. Also some tweets here. Rants Out Loud tweets. Biden is pushing for unity and healing while demanding his predecessor be removed before his term ends. Yeah, because we can't devolve into a banana republic. From Swank Think, nothing says unity like forced compliance.
Thank you.
And Rusty Hitchbaugh, if you knew a family whose kids are mostly drug addicts and criminals, and the dad says creepy things to and about children, you'd keep clear, right? You certainly wouldn't vote the dad into office. No, we just voted the dad into the highest office of the land. So what does that say about us now in our society in the year 2021? Also, we got this, I mean, you talk about militarizing the country and what's going on in Washington, D.C. now with the 20,000 National Guard troops that are going to be protecting the inauguration.
Goodness.
Check out this video of some military armored vehicles rolling through New Jersey.
Trucker Wesley D. sent this to us. He's got a buddy who taught this.
Gun on it, so.
Jeez.
Look
at
that.
I mean, the military is in town. Armed.
Oh
my God, there's more. At the truck stop. Holy
This is like a Chinese military parade.
Damn. You'll never see them armed.
That's crazy. That is crazy in the United States of America.
And it goes on and on, and I don't know if they had to stop for gas or what, but they were there.
Holy cow.
You wonder, are they headed for D.C.? I wouldn't think you would drive a tank all the way from Jersey to D.C., though, would you?
I don't know, but why would you be at a truck stop?
I don't know.
It seems like you would
really
gas
strange.
up before you hit the road, maybe. I don't know. Or, oh, no, everybody's got to stop at a Stuckey's, I guess. It's weird.
Well, they're pretty cool, the Stuckey's.
Yeah, well, not as cool as...
Not as cool as the
Beaver place.
Yeah, what is that?
Buc-ee's.
It's Buc-ee's.
Yeah. You know, we got to watch that. I'm sorry, I got to do this, man. But that was... shows how insane this world is now.
Mm-hmm.
Showing the military rolling through a truck stop in New Jersey.
You
Can we
something
please
that can
thank
make
you?
it better?
I want a little kitten video for the audience, if you don't mind.
Geez. No, you know I do mind.
Kitten is squaring up on that toddler. That cat's weird, though. Look at him, man. He's like, what is happening? So I don't know if the cowlick on the back of the little kid's head is disturbing the kitten. Either way, they got to get that.
I thought the kid was going to turn around and knock the cat across the room.
You were hoping for that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. That would have been something. Now that I would have liked, but he just hopped 3 times. He hopped around 3 times.
Play it again.
Play it again. He just hops around. There's nothing that goes on here.
Cat needs to be checked.
Look at this.
Can we agree on that? He's like, I think the cowlick is freaking him out or something. So he's like checking it out.
Okay, so
he's
he hops. hops again, and he hops again. Okay, yeah, that was
But look,
riveting.
it got you
That
to forget
fixed it.
about the armed military vehicles marching through New Jersey, right?
It fixed everything. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Gary in Texas. Hey, Gary, you're on the Blaze.
Hey, Pat and Keith. I just wanted to see if you guys had seen AOC's most recent comment where she says that Republicans don't give a damn about Blue Lives Matter, and she never wants to hear it again. And, I mean, it's so mind-blowing.
Yeah, she's the worst. Appreciate it. I think we do have that. I think is that cut 6? She's reflecting on the Capitol Hill riot. Here's what she says about it.
As for myself, I had a pretty traumatizing event happen to me.
Really? What? Tell us. What was it?
And I do not know if I can even disclose the full details of that event.
Oh, wow. Really?
Due to
It was
security concerns.
Oh, man.
But I can tell you that I had a very close encounter where I thought I was going to die.
Oh, wow.
And you have all of those thoughts where, you know, at the end of your life.
And you never got
all of
touched.
these thoughts come rushing to you. And that's what happened to a lot of us on Wednesday.
Oh, I can't take it.
And I thought I did not think, I did not know if I was going to make it to the end of that day alive. And not just in a general sense, but also in a very, very specific sense.
Very specific, sure. Sure. Tell us what happened. What was it that happened to you? I really want. I want to hear it.
I think it's an opportunity.
I insist
for
on knowing
a lot
now.
of us
Come on.
to talk about trauma as well. One thing that I can say is that in the aftermath of this, there have been a lot of counselors and there have been physicians in the house.
Have you been to a cry room yet?
Importance of, you know, some of the rapid response.
Yeah, we're not listening. We want to know what you are referring to.
I want to know the specific event. I want to know exactly what happened.
After you are exposed.
How was your life threatened?
Event.
In what way?
And I think what's really important is that, you know,
the
because
worst.
whenever any person has an encounter where they think they're going to die, and
we've
go
covered
through
this.
that
For the love of
process,
heaven! All right, I can't take it. This
that
apparently isn't where she goes on the attack on Republicans. She accuses all Republicans of supporting white supremacy. Well, where does that come in?
I don't know.
And so yeah, eventually she says that she wants to liberate the southern states. Okay. She accuses all Republicans of supporting white supremacy. Okay. And she doesn't want to hear about blue lives mattering anymore. Really?
Oh, wow.
Why? Because who is supporting the killing of that police officer? Who is supporting that? No one on the Republican side. You know what the left was doing was supporting the killing of the white woman who was shot in the throat. They loved that for some reason. That was fine. That was a totally justified police shooting because it didn't involve a black person. It was a white woman. So the white woman meant nothing to the left. I mean, we could say that all day long and be 100% confident in the statement. And then she's trying to accuse the right of not caring. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I want to know exactly what it was that threatened her life that day because I don't buy it for half a second. I don't believe that she had any sort of threat against her. Outside of the fact that there were people in the building and they were all scared because of it. Now, what would those people have done had they reached the representatives? What would they have done? Does anybody believe they would have strung them up? Because I do not. I don't believe that for a second. Would they have yelled at them? Yeah, probably. Sure, probably. But would they have taken them captive or beaten them senseless or strung them up? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Great to have you with us. 888-933-93. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Jimmy Dibble's tweets. Turning back to God. You nailed it, Pat. That's our one shot. Cute pet videos for the chaser, though.
You're welcome.
Hey, you got a supporter, Keith, right there.
Thank you.
From Lynn, will Biden do martial law next? Gosh, I hope so. Wouldn't that be great?
No.
I'm trying a little reverse psychology on it now.
Yeah. That's what we want.
That's what we want. Yeah, we need that.
Oppress us. Please. Yes, that's what we want.
From Kara3022, AOC says multiracial and multicultural grassroots groups in Georgia that one Dems the Senate is a sign, quote, Southern states are not red states, they are suppressed states. And some other things that she had to say. I can't even listen to it. I can't listen to her. She is so stupid and so radical, so brainwashed from somebody during her childhood.
She's
really sad.
Or is she representative of the district that she resides in?
I don't know. I think she's a little too radical even for them. Okay. Although, they voted her back in again. Jeez. And where was all the concern for members of Congress, by the way, when the psycho Bernie Sanders supporter shot up members of Congress on a baseball field, 30 of them, and almost killed one of them? I mean, came very close to killing one of them. And they certainly didn't seem to care about that then.
What was the date on that shooting?
I don't know. Was that in 2017?
Let's see here.
It's been a while now.
2017.
Yeah.
So in June of 2017, did the Democrat Party and the leadership therein, did they tone down the crazy rhetoric or ratchet it up after that?
I think it's been ratcheted up since then, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
If the roles were reversed, and I know everybody within the sound of my scratchy, COVID-riddled voice, everybody knows that if the roles were reversed and if it was a crazy right-winger taking out Democrats at their softball practice, oh my goodness, not only would they be calling for tone down the rhetoric, but if they were...
all manner of gun control.
Oh, everything. Everything. But it's one of theirs, so...
we have to fight off their gun control rhetoric every 6 months or so. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's actually already been a bill filed.
I suppose.
Yeah, so here we go
again.
Yep.
And now it'll be tougher to fight it off, obviously. Here's some metro areas with the highest move-outs because of, I would imagine, the economy going south on them and COVID restrictions, and people are sick and tired of just being shut up in their homes, really under house arrest.
High taxes.
For going on a year now.
Yep.
So here are the 5 metro areas with the highest move-outs. Let's see.
You going to move in or move out first?
Metro with the highest move. Yeah, let's do move outs. Okay. Nassau, New York. Bergen, New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey.
I'm sensing a theme.
New York. Newark, New Jersey. Chicago, Illinois. Bremerton, Washington. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Middlesex, New Jersey. And Lake, Illinois. Every single one of them. A Democrat stronghold.
Oh, no kidding.
Every single one of them run by Democrats.
That speaks volumes. And you know what? They're all moving to...
oh, yeah. Well, let's see where they're moving to.
Okay.
The highest move-ins. Wilmington, North Carolina. Sarasota, Florida. Boise, Idaho. Number 4. Huntsville, Alabama. 5th, Fort Myers, Florida. These are, so far, all Republican strongholds.
Oh, these are all repressed states.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Melbourne, Florida. Austin, Texas. Nashville, Tennessee. And Fort Collins, Colorado. That might be the one place where maybe Democrats are in control in Colorado.
Yeah.
I don't know, but at least 9 of the 10.
Yeah, Fort Collins, Colorado State University, yeah.
Does this not give you a clue as to who's doing things right and who's doing things wrong? I don't know. I guess not.
They're coming to your town to screw it up.
Yeah. In Great Britain, they're talking about whether or not wearing masks could be a forever thing. Isn't that wonderful? Because That would be so nice if we could just continue the mask wearing indefinitely, just forever. It would be awesome. It's not like people are counting the moments to where we can stop with this nonsense. Wait, yes, it is. It is like that. Professor Jonathan Van Tam said the pandemic has changed how Brits approach hygiene and that some habits that we've adopted will stay. He also cautioned that the virus will be with us for the foreseeable future. The pandemic has changed a lot of things, he said. It changed the way you and I approach hand hygiene. We all carry hand sanitizer around now. We all expect in most of the places we go into that hand sanitizer is provided at the door. Yeah, we're going to find some unintended consequences on that too. But, I do it too. I do the hand sanitizer thing all the time. Just because it made me really paranoid about picking up the coronavirus somewhere. So, yes. But it's killing good germs, too. It's killing good bacteria. And we're not going to be able to fight off any kind of infection pretty soon because it's going to be the hand sanitizer thing over and over and over and over until the bacteria develops immunity to it. And then what's going to happen? Then we're going to be murdered by the bacteria that we've been trying to kill all this time. He says, I think there are going to be people who make a personal decision to, you know what, when I'm in a crowded place in the winter, I'm going to put a face covering on. When I'm on a tube, I think that means they're subway because they're so ridiculous.
All right, that's dumb.
When I'm on a tube, I'm going to put a face covering on. You guys go ahead and do that in Britain. All you want.
We've seen that. People from Asia all the time, when you go to the airport.
That's true. Because they used to do it because of the pollution, right? And now we're finding that, I don't know how long this can last and how long people can put up with it. I wouldn't think Brits would want to do this either. But there's a sign here. Is this at the airport? No mask, no entry.
No. We have a video. This is in the United States of America. I'm not sure exactly where, but
no mask, no entry.
You can't get into this restaurant, right? Unless you're wearing a mask, except for
if you're a police officer.
Wait a minute. None of them are wearing masks. Wait.
And the sign is right there. No mask, no entry. There they are without masks, and they have entered.
I don't Hold on. How does that work? We got one guy.
Boy. I don't know. I guess our people in blue, our warriors in blue can go ahead.
And they weren't 6 feet apart either, point out. So just follow the example set by law enforcement and don't wear a mask.
Also on Sunday, Bruce Willis was asked to leave a store. I think he was at a Rite Aid. Yeah, it was a Los Angeles Rite Aid that he was thrown out of after he refused to wear a mask. Apparently people inside the store were upset that Willis wasn't wearing a mask. And he had the bandana. Do we have the photo of him? Maybe not. Maybe we don't have that photo. Oh, yeah, there he is. So you see that he's got the bandana there. He could, if he wanted to, pull it up and you got yourself a face covering.
How quickly they forget the man who saved Christmas. Cut him some slack,
But he wouldn't do it. And so they asked him to leave. And he did. Now, he has since apologized. Now, when I saw the story that there was an apology because he made a bad decision, I thought they were talking for a second about the store owner making him leave. But of course, no. No, because that would never happen. The store owner is never in the wrong when they're asking you to mask up. It's always the right thing to do, to wear a mask. And so Willis is now profusely apologizing.
From the beginning, right? Dr. Fauci has told us, wear your mask. Right? He sets the example for us from day one. There he is, opening day at the Washington Nationals game. He's got a buddy who's masked up. His wife has her mask, I don't know.
In her hand. She's got it in her hand. It is covering her hand.
And then,
then she put it on.
And look at him.
And then he still doesn't have his on.
Yeah, he's just got it down around his chin the whole time. He's on his phone.
I was eating and drinking.
Eating and drinking, he says. Yeah.
Eating and drinking.
What, you're eating your phone? Were you drinking from your phone? Is it a flask? What are you... the joke's on us. If you want to play that game.
Tiresome. And again, how much longer are we going to put up with it? How much longer? Good to know, though, that the vaccine isn't going to change anything. That you still have to wear the mask, still have to socially distance, still have to do everything you've been doing, because the vaccine only protects you. We don't know if it protects others from you. That's their latest thing.
Yeah, I don't care either way.
That's their latest thing.
Whatever. You can change every 5 weeks. Don't care. So shut up.
I do, because this is supposed to end it.
Yeah, well, I'm a survivor. That's
supposed to end it.
So there.
Yeah, you are a survivor.
And I'm still not changing my behavior, so screw them. The Major League Baseball, that's good news, right? The report is that they're going to do a full 162-game schedule, and vaccination not required by those in attendance. So this might be your last chance to go to a sporting event without having to prove that you're vaccinated.
Are they just going to allow people to fill up the stadium, or are they going to have...
I think it's going to be...
We're going to do the percentages again?
I think it's going to depend on your municipalities and stuff like that, but I think baseball itself is saying, come on in.
Do what you want?
Because remember, the World Series and the NLCS that happened here in Arlington at the Rangers' new ballpark, they allowed fans there in groups of 4, spaced out. So that was a sign of hope there.
How many did Arlington allow in then? I don't remember. Was it 25,000?
Whatever the Texas thing was.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it was less than that. But it was whatever the percentage was, maybe 25%.
Oh.
I believe, something like that.
Also in Canada, in kind of a weird incident, a husband and wife were fined $1,500 each after the woman was found walking the man on a leash.
Okay, now, so if Jeffy were here, he'd say, who among us?
Who among us hasn't walked their spouse on a leash?
Could have been a fetish thing.
First of all.
Don't judge.
First of all. The incident occurred in Canada's Quebec on Saturday night when the woman was caught walking her husband on a leash like a dog at 9 p.m. An hour after coronavirus curfew was imposed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The 8 p.m. curfew was imposed by Quebec Premier Francois Legault, Premier of Quebec in Canada, to contain rising cases of COVID-19. And they were found breaking the curfew. When asked by police why she was breaking the curfew, she said she was within curfew rules to walk outside of her house till 1 kilometer.
Oh, you can go 1 kilometer?
Which, okay, so if you can go 1 kilometer, nobody knows how far that is. That could be a few inches.
Right.
It could be 100,000 miles.
Officer.
I don't know. What is that? But I guess you could walk your dog 1 kilometer outside of curfew.
And maybe he was identifying as such.
Yes, she said she was walking her dog. Her husband is her dog. When cops pointed out that her husband was not a dog, she protested. Both husband and wife were fined then $1,500.
Screw you.
Now that's $1,500 Canadian, which is about
nickel.
$1.50. It's $1.50 American.
Can I pay it right here, officer?
Even though the woman has reportedly refused to pay the fine, well, then I say she goes to prison.
Whoa.
I say she goes directly to prison.
Like, hold on a second. She goes to prison. Her husband goes to the pound? What?
Yes.
What are we doing here?
Yes, he goes to the pound.
Like, did he say anything? Like, did he bark, like, when they were approached? Or how did that?
That much is not clear, unfortunately.
I need more details on this story.
Not clear. Also, the defiance of these dining bans is really starting to grow. Why? Because people are going out of business. It is killing their livelihood. They would like to put food on their tables and pay for the place in which they live. But indoor dining has been banned in most of Oregon for about 2 months. But there's an eatery 20 miles southeast of Portland that was doing booming business. Unfortunately, it was illegal business. The restaurant owners, Brian and Liz Mitchell, fully reopened January 1st in defiance of Governor Kate Brown's COVID-19 indoor dining ban in their county, despite the risk of heavy fines and surging coronavirus cases. We're not going to back down because our employees still need to eat. They still need that income. The statement that we're making is every life is essential. You have the right to survive. Nobody should tell you what you can and cannot do to provide for your family. Gosh, so true. Health officials in Oregon and other states with bans say they are necessary because people can't wear the mask when they eat. Blah, 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 blah. Center for Disease Control and Prevention lists indoor dining as a particularly high-risk activity. Really? Because in some of the surveys I've seen, some of the studies that have been done, catching COVID-19 at restaurants is way down on the list. At like 5% of occurrences happen at restaurants. Don't they say that the big box stores are where people are getting this? Where they don't have any restrictions, really. At like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. You can go in there and do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, with masks, usually.
Well, okay. I mean, sure. Yeah.
But that's where they say people, like 50 or 60%
Really?
of people are contracting the cases.
Wow.
This is not happening at restaurants for the most part.
That's because you got to get in there and you got to sit down real quick. Remember, it goes right over your head.
Right over the head. Yeah.
Zoom.
Now, if you stand up and you go to the bathroom while you're in there, you got to put the mask back on because obviously now you're
in the zone
at eye level with the virus.
You don't want to play around with it.
No, you don't.
See, that's why these officers in that video we've got.
Mm-hmm.
See, they're actually that's high risk right there.
Yes,
because they're standing.
Right.
You know.
So yes, so they could be killed by the virus at any second.
And
any second.
Just got to sit down quickly. What a stupid world. What a stupid society. And it's so easy for these politicians like these governors and these mayors to make these stupid restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Because when's the last time you heard about a poor politician? When's the last time you heard of a politician or a governor scraping together to make ends meet? Okay?
I guess middle-class Joe is the
right, middle-class Joe. Yeah,
of.
okay, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, seriously, we don't live the lives that you do, okay? So we need to get a paycheck, a steady paycheck that arrives every 2 weeks. I'm sorry that we don't have the riches that you, dear governor and mayor and so on, have. You can afford to call for lockdowns because it doesn't affect you.
And middle-class Joe has made, what, $19 million? Is that what we just heard in the last 3 years?
Yeah, these politicians.
Middle-class Joe, $19 million.
They're still getting paid, y'all.
Yeah, they are.
Lockdowns don't affect politicians' paycheck flow.
No, they don't. Here are the states, though, with the best and worst rates of vaccinations so far. If you're curious as to where it's going really well so far, the 10 states, and again, see if you see another trend here. Okay? This is amazing. The places where they're moving out of, all Democrat. The places where they're moving into, all Republican.
Okay.
The states with the greatest population of vaccinated so far, Republican. West Virginia, number one. Their rate per 100,000, 6,177. So 6.1%, almost 6.2% of their population has been vaccinated. South Dakota, Kristi Noem's state, number two at 5.7%. North Dakota, another Republican state, at number three, followed by Republican state Alaska, followed by Vermont, which is, I guess, Democrat. But doesn't Vermont have a Republican governor?
Yes.
I think they do, yeah. So that's another Republican-run state. Connecticut, though, is number 6 to mess this up. Oklahoma, back to Republican, 4.3%. Maine, definitely Democrat, 4.2%. Colorado, 4.1%. And Montana, 4.1%. The states with the smallest population of vaccines so far. In Alabama, they've got 1.7%. But that's people who don't want it, I'll bet. Georgia's at 1.8%. South Carolina, followed by Nevada, Mississippi, Arizona, Idaho. California is only at 2.2%. Wisconsin and North Carolina, 2.5%.
It's mostly conservative-leaning states, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think you nailed it, though. I think you cracked the code. I think it's people who just don't want it.
Yeah, they don't want it. I mean, I bet you Texas would it. We're probably, I would say we're probably one of the worst states because people here just don't want it. They have decided they're not gonna be vaccinated, and so we'll see what happens with that. Will we get to herd immunity with the people who do want it? That remains to be seen. But the head of Moderna is also saying COVID will be here forever. Jeez, the guy who's at the head of the company, who was the second in line to produce the vaccine that's ready to go, even he is saying it'll be here forever. Wow, okay. There's no way out of this, is what you're telling us. Great. Thank you for the hope. Public health officials and infectious disease experts have said there's a high likelihood COVID will become an endemic disease, meaning it'll become present in communities at all times, though likely at lower levels than we have it now. Moderna CEO Stéphane Bancel appeared to agree Wednesday that COVID-19 will become endemic, saying SARS-CoV-2 is not going away. We're going to live with this virus, we think, forever. Wow. Wasn't it Fauci that was saying that we could get rid of this if we just do this and that, and then the vaccine comes along and we mask up and we socially distance, and then we do the vaccine?
I don't know that we want to lean on anything Dr. Fauci has said, because the opposite's going to end up being true. But did you say that this vaccine doesn't last forever? Like once
it's a year. They think it's a year. Moderna says it'll last 1 year. Which makes it what? It makes it the flu vaccine thing. Yeah, okay, you get it every year. So we continue to make money from you every year.
Wow. Amazing how that worked out.
Isn't it? Isn't it, though? But there's so many vaccines. I don't know. Maybe some of them will. I mean, you've got the Pfizer vaccine that I haven't heard about that one. I'm pretty sure it's the Moderna vaccine. They said a year. But that leads me to believe that everybody's going to say the same thing, because everybody wants to keep making the money from us every year. And keep us in line, keep us coming to them so that we can live in our society every year and, have their permission.
You refuse the vaccine, your world is going to get smaller.
For sure.
And smaller and smaller. Just got to be mentally prepared for that. And you got to figure out the places where you're not going to be forced to take the vaccine. The problem is you're going to have a government in power, a federal government, that is going to stretch their powers as far as they can. So states may become irrelevant.
Yeah, and we just don't believe anything anymore. So that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem when they tell us a year, because frankly, I'm about to spit in your face over that and just say, I'm sorry, then. I'm not going to do it every year. I'm not going to do it. Because I don't trust you, and you've proven yourselves untrustworthy. So that can't bode well for the future.
Hey, tomorrow's Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So
that means what? More on trivia.
Yeah, the Old Man Bowl.
Right.
2 quarterbacks younger than me.
So it's Tampa Bay versus
New Orleans.
Yep. Yeah, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Tomorrow on More on Trivia, as we finish the week together, getting into the weekend. Here on Pat Gray Unleashed. See you then.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.